And we're back live. We'll let this build up a second. Yeah.
Not bad.
As Jay was doing funny poses. Welcome back, everybody, to another great show. We got an epic guest tonight, Mr. Matt Gibson out of Indiana. If you guys missed last week's show with Mike McKinstry, highly recommend going back and watching that, especially the ending section. Jay turned a little red, a little bright red. Mr. McKinstry was joking around a bit, but there was a lot of cool stuff in there. I think what Mike's doing with the pay it forward stuff was really huge, and I know I got many messages after that show about that, so that's cool. I myself, I know I've bought a couple people some cups of coffee this week just after talking to Mike when I was in the drive-thru. So that was super cool, man. So, yeah. Randall, anything before we jump into it, man?
No, man. Let's get it on.
Let's get it on. Real quick in the comments, we got Mr. Hicks in the house. What's up, brother? Brock Howell climbing out from underneath the rock. Good to see you. Good to see you, my man. But without further ado, let's get Mr. Gibson in here. Matt is from Indiana. He's the Midwest. I think it's the Midwest team manager for New Canoe. He helps run IKA. They got a big event coming up as well here in a couple of weeks. And he's just an all-around okay guy. We'll just say okay.
Yeah, he sounds important, but I don't know.
I don't know. He's just got all these titles and stuff.
I thought you were gonna say good guy. I was about to fall out of my chair.
I gotta give you a little flack, you know. I met Matt this past show season down in Indiana, and we kind of hit it off because we were making fun of our good friend, David Brook, and we kicked it off. We had some good laughs and stuff like that. But yeah, man, welcome back. Actually, this is your second time on the show, right? Because you did the New Canoe episode with us.
Yeah, I did
on the product review show.
Yeah.
And man, let's jump into it, man. So, like, we always ask, how you got into fishing, kayak fishing, and all that good stuff, man. Give us a background on Mr. Gibson.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I started fishing. There's really not a time I can remember that I wasn't fishing. All the way from my Snoopy pole days, all the way to now.
You're still using that same rod, right?
It is a heck of a Ned rig rod.
The sensitivity is just incredible.
That's right. Can't break that thing. But yeah, I mean, growing up, I was fortunate enough to grow up on water. So, I've literally fished to I fish all species. Growing up, crappie, bluegill, bass, whatever was hitting or biting at that time. Actually, one of my favorite things to do is carp fish. I've always loved carp fishing. It's something that we used to do growing up between carp and cat fishing. Fished bass tournaments out of a boat for a while. And I think that's the story of a lot of guys that ended up kayak fishing and getting into kayak fishing. It's kind of ran out of money doing it, honestly.
And still running out of money in a kayak, right?
but yeah, that's right. That's right. At least I don't have to fill up the kayak every time, though. So
yeah, right.
Yes. So, but yeah, got into kayak fishing. Actually met Jason Young, Joe Gentry, and Brian Crossan at a open house event, and talked to those guys, and I was like, man, this is something I have to get into. Just as they were very open, inviting, tremendous guys, and still some of my good friends today.
Very cool, man. Well, I know I've met Joe. I think I met Jason Young. Who's that guy? I call him the beard of knowledge.
He's talking in the comments, right?
I know. I saw that. He said you're just meh.
That's not bad.
Yeah. I mean, it could be worse, right? It could be worse.
Yeah. I mean, you didn't call me an
Well, I didn't know you were a big carp fisherman, man. That's kind of cool. That's different. That's unique, man. I got a guy I work with who bow fishes for him, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But that I think that whole carp scene is kind of blown up over the past few years. I know when I was heavy into fly fishing, let's say 2009, 2010, right around there, like I know the fly guys were getting heavy into it because they were figuring out how to catch carp on the fly. And let's face it, in the Midwest we don't have huge trout. There are some good trout streams, but catching carp on a fly rod's like catching Moby Dick on an ultralight.
Yeah.
So we definitely got giant carp out here.
Yeah.
Giants.
Yeah, we actually used to use ultralights sometimes, just for fun. And I mean, carp fishing is great. It's a good time. It's great to get kids involved.
Yeah.
They're just a great fish too.
They're a fun fight.
They are. Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, you made the comment about the Snoopy poles. When we were kids, I used to live a little bit up north more. But we used to fish this lake. They had tons of grass carp, and they're like gigantic. I mean, we're talking 60 inches easy.
Ooh, yeah.
And I mean, they swim in huge schools. It's clear water, so you can see them. But anyway, we used to just take big treble hooks, and then we would like swim out, like probably about like a good 50 yards. Chum the water, drop the hooks, swim back, and then put 30-pound test on that pole. And then fight these giant fish, dude. First thing I remember, these things would do, they'd go right for the cattails.
Oh yeah,
right. So you'd walk out into the water like about like chest deep, and you're like fighting like a fish like this.
Yeah,
that's fun.
Yeah, it was good times, man.
That's fun, man. That's fun. So, I mean, you're part of IKA. What's your role in that? And guys and gals that don't know what IKA is, it's Indiana Kayak Anglers. Big club. You may have heard a few names that compete in there. Jackson. I mean, Aiden
Darlington.
Yeah, I mean, I call it the Club of Young Sticks. I mean, you guys got a lot of young kids that just, I mean, make you look bad all the time, Matt.
Terrible. But they have taken a lot of money from me in the last few years. That's okay. They really are. I mean, gosh, they are just some hammers and some sticks in our club. All the way, Aiden, Jackson, guys like Chad Howard. We've got a lot of, and we're really, really lucky. And we talk about this pretty often. Myself, Jason Young, and Jim Moore, Jackson's dad. We're kind of, we're the tournament directors for IKA. But we just talk about how great of a community it really is. I mean, there's no drama with our club. Guys show up, they fish, they help each other out. During COVID right now, we're really missing out on those before tournaments and after tournament gatherings. But we're very fortunate here in the state to have some really, really good fishermen.
Well, I noticed too, man, it's interesting because every state is different, and it has been, as far as the way tournaments have had to deal with the Corona thing. In Illinois, first couple of our tournaments were canceled because we weren't allowed to hold events over X amount of people. But I think you guys did a really great job on adjusting to that. Like, I know I talked to Jason, and he was like, "Hey, man, like, what streaming software do you use?" and stuff like that. And you guys were doing like your weigh in, so to speak, on there. And it was you, Jason, and Jim, doing those things. And I think you guys even had an event where you guys had to kind of like split it up between a couple lakes, right?
So our first two events, we had basically it was kind of like a county shootout. That's when COVID was really hot and heavy, and we were just trying to spread everybody out as far as we can get everybody.
Sure.
And then, we had another reservoir. We picked 5 reservoirs, kind of staggered them, Central Indiana, one or two in the northern part of the state, and then a couple down south. So yeah, I mean, we've really had to work and adjust this year, and I mean, honestly, our anglers have just been super supportive of us, and that makes it a heck of a lot easier on Jason, myself, and Jim.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I can imagine. I know, you know, our club over here is dealing with some stuff right now currently, just due to like weather, and it's just like, dude, like it could be worse. Like
Right.
we could have no events at all, you know. I mean, geez, but you know, it's one of those things. But I think the way you guys have handled that from start till present has been huge, dude. And it's cool to see. Obviously, like I said, like depending on what state you're in, like different clubs have had to deal with different situations, and the fact that you guys have adapted due to those conditions has been huge. And I see none other than Mr. Young chiming in here. He said, you guys have averaged 79 anglers through 4 events. And I think that's something huge, like which I want to get into, because I know last year you got the big, it's the White River, right? That you guys fish.
Yeah.
That goes right through Indianapolis, correct?
Yep.
You know, you guys had over 100 anglers for that last year or something like that. Plus there was a Hobie satellite or something like that.
Yeah. So
I'm sure the beard of knowledge will confirm those numbers for us.
Off the top of his head here too.
Yeah. But I mean, that's huge. Oh, see,
There-
like I said,
there you go.
came through 92. But I think that says something about what you guys are doing over there, man. I mean, you guys always have big numbers. And I know, you know, Sam Jones, you guys all know Sam. I think Indiana gets kind of overlooked as like one of those, as like a kayak fishing state, just like Illinois. You know, compared to Ohio's got kind of a big kayak scene, but they have many different clubs throughout that state where I think everybody gets separated. Whereas it seems like a lot of folks in Indiana are either fishing IKA or the new grubby events, you know, which that's cool too, because you get to choose your day. But I mean, I know a lot of guys that fish grubby that fish IKA and vice versa.
Yeah, and you know, there's like Sayak is down in the southern part of the state.
Sure.
Those guys are down there, and there's another group down there. We're very lucky with other tournament directors too. We try not to schedule on the same day, so you know, anglers can, and you will see a lot of anglers, you know, fishing the grubby events, fishing the Sayak events, and our events. Because we've all kind of worked together.
Sorry, I just saw Jason's comment. Strokes beard. I'm sure he's doing this.
Yeah.
Well, it's
actually,
cool.
It's like down here now.
Yeah. He does that. Yeah. Well, it's cool. I get it. You guys try to avoid the Hoover McCorder conflicts. We'll leave it at that. Yeah, I said that.
Yeah.
But no, it's cool, man. I like it. If anybody out there is watching or listening after we get this uploaded to the podcast, definitely I know that White River is a really good event. And good smallmouth. You guys had some really good smallmouth caught there last year.
Yeah, smallmouth and some largemouth. I mean, there's some pretty decent largemouth once you get down towards the city. So don't
give away all the juice, bro.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, just trying to help you out. I mean, you got to battle against the kids, you know.
That's right.
They probably already know.
Well, at least they're driving to the event now. I mean,
yeah. You know, that's kind of scary. Jackson's traveling, driving all over the place.
That's right.
You know? No more duo between dad and son. That's kind of a wild concept.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do, man? What are you gonna do? Oh, we got Everett Park in the house.
Ooh.
Oh, you better be on your best behavior. The boss man's here.
That's right.
So, yeah, about them new canoes, man.
Yeah,
I mean, That was almost like timing. So you run, is it the Midwest, Central, like
We
how
call
does it-
ourselves the Great Lake region.
Great Lake region?
Yeah.
How many different regions are in the new Canoe Team?
Oh gosh, here's 1, 2. I think there's 6.
6 total.
Yeah.
Okay. I like it. I like it. Freshly in the role, correct?
Oh gosh, yeah. I think it's been about a year now. So
Year?
yeah.
Okay. How long you been with new?
I think it was 20. It's either 20. I think it's 2016. Is when I first got my first new canoe.
You're aging yourself, bro.
It's what it is. Nothing you can do about it.
Can't run from it. It's chasing you all the time.
I like it. I like it. What boat you rocking currently?
Man, I really love the Pursuit. Pursuit's one of my favorites.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I love the Frontier 12. Got a Frontier 10 as kind of my creek and smaller river and water boat. But yeah, I mean, my Pursuit is probably my favorite. And man, it paddles awesome. It's just set up very well for tournament fishing and with horizontal rod tubes. It's tough to beat.
Yeah, see, I think Jay and I have had many conversations about that. There isn't many boats that have that horizontal rod storage in the side. You know, it's basically the Pursuit or the Hobie. Like, and I think it's key. Do you keep your rods in those tubes like when you're trekking down the road?
Absolutely. Yep.
See,
I know. And I put man, I'm trying to remember. So we had a tournament up at the Tippecanoe River last weekend. Typically I carry about 6 rods.
Okay.
Even though there's only 4 tubes there, I double up on a few of the tubes.
Yeah.
So
very cool, man. You run it? You run in the bow mount?
Not yet.
Well,
we can't use them in tournaments here. Indiana Kayak Anglers hadn't approved motors.
Right. Yeah, Jason Young, what's your deal, bro?
What's your beef, man?
Yeah, get back to rubbing your beard, man. Jesus, I thought he was going to change that rule.
There has been some discussion between last year and this year. So.
Well, when this ends, just send me his address. I'll go slap him around.
So you guys have been motor.
KBL?
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they're motor.
What do you guys think about them?
I mean, so I will say, like, back when I started kayak fishing, I was kind of a paddle snob. And then I fished some tournaments and I realized how crucial that motor was on tournament day, covering water, so to speak.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was at a disadvantage. Paddle versus pedal, I guess you could argue they're the same. You're exerting energies, they're different energies. I mean, here's my thing. Here's my take, because we all know what boat Brian fishes out of. I get discriminated a lot because I'm in the blue sky.
Yeah.
I get it. However, I've fished tournaments where I can't fish in a blue sky, but a guy could have a PA-14 with a torpedo on the back.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't fish a tournament, and it was a small club tournament at the beginning of this year in Wisconsin, where I couldn't fish out of the blue sky pedal driven, but a guy in a 15-foot canoe with 2 outriggers and a bow mount trolling motor could fish.
Wow.
So I think that's the thing. Like, if you're going to accept some things, you can't not accept certain things, you know, like that's my take on it. I think if you're going to be no motors, like, great, it's pedal or paddle, right? It kind of keeps that playing field even, so to speak.
Yeah.
I think if they're going to be motors, you got to have some kind of restriction, like, especially like with the new torpedo, the 1103, I think it is. That thing hauls butt, you know, like, next thing you know, guys are going to be wanting to put like 100-pound thrust bow mount XI3s on the front of their boats and
Yeah.
things like that. So I think, there's got to be some kind of regulation. What it is, I mean, that's left up to guys like you that run the tournaments. I've heard it say before, the reason why a certain club allowed motors was a safety aspect. Like they had an instance where they had a storm blow in and the guys that were paddling were kind of rescued by the guys with the motors.
Okay.
So I can kind of see that, but at the same time, that guy's covering 5 times the amount of water that somebody that's stuck paddling or pedaling, so to speak. But then again, I mean, I've seen guys paddle just as fast as guys running trolling motors.
Right.
But, there's the age-old argument, well, yeah, the guy with the trolling motor isn't all exhausted and worn out by the time he gets to his spot, whereas the guy paddling is going to be wore out and probably not as focused and fresh, when he gets to his spot. So,
yeah.
And I agree with that too. I think so. I mean, I've always been against motors in kayak tournaments because I have a motor though. But I mean, I haven't fished any tournaments with it, but I really think, you got to keep that physical aspect involved. Like to Brian's point, unless you have some kind of an impairment. I mean, I think they would be allowed at that point, but
yeah,
I just remember so many times somebody buzzing by and with a torpedo and just kind of like, eating some, I remember specifically one guy just like eating Cheetos, as he cruised by, and he's like, he checks his phone, and at that time I was just paddling. I didn't even have pedals, so I'm trying to get to where I got to go. And he's really just chilling, while I'm working it. And it's not like a huge lake, but again, it's, I don't know. I mean, maybe it has something to do with the size of the body of the water too, but at the same time, I still think, I mean, I'm still against it, but I mean, I accept it. I get it. It is an advantage, definitely. Some people would argue that doesn't make you a better fisherman. That's correct. It doesn't, but it does get you to that spot that you probably were eyeing. And if they get there first, you either got to work with somebody and let them kind of, let you be in the same area for the most part, or, you just kind of got to eat it and move on. So, I mean, that's kind of where I am. I mean, like I said, I mean, kayaking is very physical and you have to be fit to do it to some extent. I mean, at least have a strong back and shoulders, and have a good core, to get there. And pedaling's a whole nother aspect of it too.
Sure.
But I think the motors are an edge that I think it's good that people kind of keep it honest without them. And what is Brad saying? Jay Dale Hollow last year laughing at his pal. Yeah. So Dale Howell is huge. So I mean, no contest there. I mean, you kind of need a motor. That's big water.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's.
I mean, I think it's interesting because right now in the Hobie events, it's all human powered. Correct? They didn't change that this year. But you can go fish KBF or bass and use a motor. I mean, for those that feel like they can't compete against those with motors, have those other options, and I think that's something too, like to look at. I mean, doesn't matter which way you throw the dice. It's you're going to get some kind of angle brought on it, like Jay bringing up, like if somebody has a disability, they should be allowed to use a motor. And then next thing you know, like they'll win a tournament and everybody's going, oh, it's all because he won a motor. I mean, and that's just it. Like at the end of the day, it all matters how good you are as an angler.
So this is what my opinion, not any kayaker's opinion, but my opinion is whatever gets somebody in the sport. I could care less what they're fishing out of.
Yeah.
I could care less if they want a motor, if they don't want a motor. But as long as somebody's getting in our sport, I'm all for it.
Well, and that's a great point, man, because I brought that up about the blue sky, like, and you know how that goes. You see it at the shows. Who stops and looks at that boat the most? it's older guys, the
Exactly.
guys that are retired, the guys that have tons of time to get out on the water and maybe looking for something to do with their free time, like go fish a kayak tournament. And that being kind of like hit or miss depending on clubs and stuff like that. And I'm not trying to go on a BSB rant, but it's just to your point, man. Like whatever gets somebody involved, and that's the thing too. You got guys right now with Old Town coming out with the new Sportsman with the motor already built into it. It's like, are they going to go paddle that beast of a boat?
Right.
It's like trying to paddle a Titan 13.5,
Yeah.
Well, I think what they're afraid of too is opening the door to like more watercraft that aren't kayaks. Because the number one argument with the Blue Sky is it's not a kayak. And
right.
Right.
I agree.
But
100%.
it's still a plastic boat.
Yeah. Right.
It's still like, it's similar to the aspect that it floats, and it's plastic, but I mean, then, again, you get into these bigger boats, and then before you know it, we're actually fishing out of boats.
Yeah.
I think potentially that's what everybody's kind of looking for. And I think you got to kind of keep it sketchy to some extent where, that's why some of the leagues hit, like you can't exceed like a certain width. I think there's still limitations on that. Because before you know it, because like there's that circle watercraft too, right? I don't remember that thing's called, but it's a freaking ashtray.
Yeah.
You're fishing
a float tube.
Yeah. And it's like, it looks pretty interesting. It's not a kayak, but it's made out of plastic.
Yeah.
Does that count? You know what I mean? Like, where does it end?
So are you running the pivot drive then, like during the tournaments and stuff?
So the first two tournaments I did, and then our Kokomo event, I was kind of running and gunning. So I decided to paddle that one, and then in the river, where we were fishing was pretty shallow, so went with paddle there as well.
Right on. What kind of paddle are you running?
Benny Branches. Was it? What's that called? It's the wood one, the Navigator.
Oh yeah. That thing looks sweet, dude.
I love it.
That. I love the look of that.
I've had it for 2 years, and I tell you what, like in the in the river, I absolutely love it because you hit a rock and it doesn't feel like an aluminum bat.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of the thud out of it for you.
Yeah, I love a good Bending Branches paddle.
Is that a threat, bro? Is that a threat?
I was looking at you when I did that.
Throwing fists and stuff.
Look, he looks kind of tough on the internet.
You got that keyboard ready, fired up.
It looks a little bulky in that camera. What kind of angle you got on there? Kind of wide angle? What's going on there?
You been lifting, bro?
Yeah.
He's got look at my traps, bro.
Yeah.
See these traps?
Just been paddling, just getting out there.
Yeah, you notice mine's up higher. I mean, because I'm gonna hit you with the girth, bro. I'm just gonna tell you right now. I'm gonna get you.
Oh, it's funny, man. Jason Young said that's protein shake in his water bottle.
I was gonna ask him because we're going like drink for drink. You got some moonshine in there? Like every time you take a drink, I'm like, I gotta do one now.
No, I've been on this Squenchers kick, man. The packets.
Oh, right on.
So not as good as what I'm drinking. I got it.
Well, was that Leinenkugel? You drinking?
It's orange shandy.
Oh.
My summer shandy's all gone.
You left your shandy in my fridge, bro.
Dude, this is still left over from the camping trip. It's like in the back. I was reaching for a water and I was like, oh, that looks much better.
I love it, man. I love it. So Indiana, man, like what's your favorite body to fish out in the Indy?
Oh gosh, we're pretty lucky here, especially where I live. I mean, the river is like 3 or 4 blocks from my house.
Okay.
And then Geist, which you fished Geist last year.
Yeah. Turkey Bowl.
or is it just last year you fished it?
Just last year.
Okay. Guys, when the boats aren't humming around, it's pretty good out there. But man, I grew up fishing, around the Kokomo area. So that's kind of where my heart is and kind of where I love to fish still, right around there. Wildcat Creek. Love fishing out of there, whether it be above or below the dam. It's where I've caught my first fish, and it's where I grew up. It feels home and like home, and some of those more northern lakes as well. I say northern, but they're really kind of north, as far as going up a little bit north of Kokomo, like Manitou, Niona. So they're probably more like lakes that you guys see. They're a little more grassy, kind of natural lakes. The further south you go in the state here, the muddier the water gets and the less vegetation there is.
Interesting. Well, down south, don't they have like a bunch of lakes? It's all like old strip mines or something like that. Like, what's that place called? I've always heard good things about that.
So there's a couple down there. There's Bluegrass.
Bluegrass is what I was thinking of.
Yeah, and there are some absolute giants down there. Atterbury is down that way. Joe Gentry is going to hate me for mentioning that. But
take it easy, Joe.
Yeah, easy, Joe. And then there's like Linton. There's a lot of strip pits there too. Kind of the same as what you're describing. So
yeah, right on.
But they all get fished very hard here in Indiana. I mean, you can't be shy to fish behind somebody here because you're not going to fish all day. So.
Yeah. Well, how crazy has it been in Indiana? Like, as far as like with the COVID thing, are you guys seeing a ton of people on the water? I'm sure. I know you work with moving waters as well. Like, how's the shop life been there too?
I mean, they've been extremely busy. It seems like anytime any kayak is there, it gets sold.
Yeah, it's the same way up here.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it's the same with bikes. I mean, anything outdoor related right now seems like it's just moving right out the door.
Yeah. Yeah, it's the same way up here, man. Like, we've completely sold out of boats. Well, we might have 10 left.
Yeah.
And most of them are touring kayaks, but, bike shops, even like I've seen at the Home Depots and stuff, garden centers like decimated.
Yep.
It's crazy, man. I mean, do they have like travel restrictions and stuff set up on Indiana at all? Or I know they've been kind of like open in the limbo, and I know a lot of people have been going over there to fish and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we were moving along at a pretty good pace as far as opening things back up. And then we kind of, we've kind of slowly taken some steps back, and, like mask restrictions, things like that are in place. But we've been pretty fortunate. They haven't came and told us not to go fishing or lock down the outdoors or state parks or anything like that. Campsites, they just reopened maybe a month ago or so.
Okay.
So things like that were impacted, but as far as us getting out on the water, we haven't been impacted at all, really.
Yeah, they can't stop us all.
That's right.
We're coming. Watch out! Watch out!
Yeah, it's like the drug runners just send 100 out. A few of them are getting caught, but the rest are getting through.
Yeah.
Great analogy, Jay.
Not that drugs are good, kids. Don't do drugs. Drugs are bad.
Oh man. Well, we started to touch on New Canoe, man. I know you're in the pursuit and stuff like that, and you got a pretty decent team here in the Midwest. I know I'm friends with a couple of guys and stuff like that, man. I mean, what's that gig like? Let's get the inside scoop from a new Canoe Team manager. We had Aaron Steiger on, and we got his scoop from, his days running the Jackson team and stuff, man. I think it's always intriguing. I always love hearing about this stuff, man.
Yeah, so, I mean, Everett was on earlier. I don't know if he's still on and watching, but honestly, Everett has been there for a pretty long time. Not saying he's old or anything, just saying, he's been around.
Yeah.
I think he just called you old, Everett. Sorry, bro.
There's an honorable mention. Okay, we're done with the conversation.
Yeah. But no, I mean, between him and Blake, they've set a culture at Canoe, and I think you can see that with a lot of our team members, and kind of setting that culture. Honestly, we love the outdoors. We love fishing. We love talking to each other. Here in the Great Lakes, I'm very fortunate to have a lot of guys on the team, like David Brook, Austin Mitchell.
Yep,
those guys, and they all bring something different to the team, which is great. Austin with his fly fishing, David with his hunting, and also his bow mount knowledge.
He's just there for entertainment. Let's be honest, bro.
I almost thought he was going to stay with his foul mouth. Love you, Brooke.
We love you, Brooke. We love you, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, we got guys like Michael Thompson too. He's up in Minnesota. I mean, his pictures are amazing, and his content's really, really good. Chase Baker, he's out kind of up in that same region up there, really into duck hunting. So we got a lot of guys can really show the versatility of our kayaks, and especially in our region. We're spread out a long ways, but we all have different things that we bring to the table.
Well, we got a couple of hosts here too that are on the team. I seen Dan's in the comment, Dan Perry and Jimmy Skinner down in that southeast region, man.
Yeah.
I know those guys are loving the crap out of their boats, and that's been a hot topic, amongst them in our group chat lately.
Yeah,
which has been good. So, yeah, they're trying to convert.
Hey, now.
I mean, just saying, trying.
I don't know, man. The list is pretty dope.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, guys.
I'm hoping to get some.
But
Liska this year.
It's one of those things, man. Like, so we were talking just before this started. My good friend up in Wisconsin, we had him on the show here. He used to be in a Johnny boat, and he got rid of that because of the same things we were talking about, tournament restrictions. Mm-hmm. And he ended up getting a Pursuit, and he's like, dude, this thing is going to be sweet, because he's looking to do waterfowl hunting out of it too.
Oh, nice. And
that's like his big thing is he does a lot of duck hunting in the duck and goose hunting in the fall, and that nice open platform. And it was funny, I ran up some parts that just came in from to the shop for him, and he had the boat all set up, and he's like, look, man, I'm going to do this, but like when hunting season comes, I can just disconnect this deck, and then bam, I can fit all my decoys in here. Dude, I could fit the dog in here, bro. So it was kind of funny. Like, we're just standing there talking in his garage, and that whole concept, he's just digging on it. And I see Dan chiming in. I know Brad is my buddy, and he reached out to Dan Perry, and those two were conversating, and he really helped him out with that. So if you're watching, Everett, you can give Dan a little couple brownie points, bro. But
some of the newer swag maybe you got going on. Dan likes new.
Yeah, he likes sun shirts, hats. I mean, if you pay for it, he'll probably get a new canoe tattoo. Just saying, bro. That's advertising.
You might get to pick where.
Hey, Dan, that's a nice tramp stamp, bro. Just saying.
Yeah, that would be great. That would be great.
Oh, that's too funny, man. Too funny. So what's your plans for the rest of the year, brother? I mean, what all you got coming up? I know you got some IKA events and things like that. You got any like big trips or anything planned? I know it's kind of up in the air with everything going on in the world, but
yeah, you know, you and I even talked about I was going to try to do the BASS event up there at La Crosse, and
yeah,
that's just not going to happen for me. So
you gotta come to La Crosse, man.
Yeah, I know. So maybe next year. It's actually something I was really looking forward to, and I was going to see if Jason wanted to make the trip up. And
let's do it. Weekend trip, bro.
Yeah.
I know some spots.
Do you?
Oh yeah. That's funny. We were talking about the motor thing, and Dave Brook, and oh, look who's in the comments. Yeah. Duke Westcamp. Hey, nice of you to show up, bro.
Let me just formally answer his question. Yes, buddy. I'm back.
Yeah, the hashtag Free J Randall worked that Duke put up a couple weeks ago. But we were at La Crosse and pedaling towards this area. I was fishing, and I seen this guy behind me coming with a trolling motor because he was cruising. I knew he wasn't pedaling, so I'm like pedaling even faster. I'm like, this dude is not going to beat me. And who is it? Hey, what's going on? Dave Brook with his XI3 on the front of his Frontier 12. He's like, I'll be nice. I'll slow down. You don't have to pedal as hard. Do you want the left side or the right side? And I picked the wrong side of the bridge that day. And unfortunately, Mr. Brook hammered him on me. But
that's all right, man. I know where he lives. We can go get that boat.
I think Matt froze up a little bit on us.
Like a surprise.
Duke said he just cried with joy. Matt, if you can hear us, I'm gonna boot you, man, and just come back in. Matt, he froze up on us. We'll get him back in here.
Duke, when are we gonna party, dude? When are we gonna hang out?
Yeah, Duke. What's up, bro? Answer your emails.
Oh.
I like giving Duke a hard time. But yeah, it's funny, man. All those guys that he named off on that new team in the Midwest, I know a lot of them. Plus, our host down south, man, they're always good guys. So, shout out to Nuke.
Generally everybody is like awesome.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. See if we get. Oh, here he is. Here he is. Maybe.
He's got like that. What is it? Got that cornfield Wi-Fi?
Yeah, I mean Indiana, bro. I mean,
I know.
Isn't
their state flatter than ours? Why do we?
I think he had he probably had to hook a cord to his phone and run it out to the cell tower.
I know it's got like tinfoil on the end.
Yeah. Did you get the antenna adjusted the right way, bro?
I think you ran it to another spot in his house.
No, same spot. Broke my internet, man.
Well,
can't turn this off, dude. Sorry. Happens all the time.
It was David Brooks, wasn't it?
Yeah, it probably was. Yeah.
Yeah, he's probably right. I mean, I want to make a run to the fridge like right now. I'm almost out. I'm gonna pull a Ryan. Yeah, I'll be back in a sec.
Yeah. Oh, too fun, man. Too fun. Well, you want to thank anybody, man? Shout outs, anything like that? Plug any IKA events, stuff like that. We're kind of winding down here, man. We'll open up the floor to you and do your deeds, man.
Yeah, first off, appreciate you guys having me on, and appreciate for everything you guys do as far as kayak community too. Podcast or content's great. Man. Yeah, come join us for the last regular season event, IKA event on the White River. It's a great time. Jason absolutely kills it as far as resources. If you go on IndianaKayakAnglers.com and you look on our website, there's a planning page, and it will tell you launch locations, and it'll tell you approximate time to float to each spot from spot to spot. There's an interactive map on there. So yeah, if you guys want to come out and fish, we'd love to have anybody out. Yeah, Brad, you should come over. That'd be awesome to fish the white. Yeah, I just want to thank Jim and Jason too for all their hard work for IKA. I know we put in a lot of hours doing some stuff and getting ready for tournaments. So thank you guys for that. Also, thanks for hosting the series, Moving Water Outfitters. They're kind of our title sponsor for the year. They help us out with some stuff, and absolutely could not run IK without them. So thank you for that.
And what town are they in? They're just north of Indy, right?
Yeah, so they're in Zionsville.
Okay, that's
so
right.
I mean, if you're in town for the White River event, they'll be open on Saturday. Stop in. We got a great selection of catch boards now.
Ooh,
which they look pretty awesome with the logo on there.
Ooh,
the Water Outfitter logo. Yeah, I also want to thank New Canoe for supporting me personally. I've been on their team for some time now, and they've always been there for me, and I really appreciate it. And then I've got PH Custom Lures. They make some awesome balsa baits. If you just want to drool and kind of look at some awesome custom painted crankbaits. I know a lot of guys love throwing ploppers. They've got a what they call a plop and pea, which is a little bit different than a whopper plopper. With whopper plopper, you get a lot of that line tangle from it.
Yeah.
Kind of part of the deal, right? Well, with plop and pea, it's got a metal rod going through with its own prop, so it can be hand tuned. Gets rid of that line twist for you. And then Secret Lures, stupid tube. Nothing better to throw in a kayak than a stupid tube.
I've heard of said stupid tube.
Yeah, you throw them up there.
I need to get my hands on said stupid tubes.
What?
Send me your address.
Stupid.
Address sent, bro.
All
right. Cool, man. Right on, man. Well, it's always what's that?
I'll send you a few up.
All right. I like this. We need more guests like you that want to send me stuff. Hey, McKinstry, I need some Z-Man stuff. You were on the show last week, bro.
I know.
Just saying.
Well, I feel bad for kind of bullying you earlier, so better send you something.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. Somebody's asking, Chris Josh is asking, what is a stupid tube?
It's basically a jig head. It's a tube with a jig head inside of it. It's great for smallmouth, great for largemouth. Hardly gets hung up. Secretlures.com is a really good place to look for them. YouTube. Yes, I did just give them a White River secret. It's not really a secret, but yeah, I mean, stupid tube. I've been fishing it for years now. It's a fish. It's just you get bit on a lot.
Yeah.
It's easy. It's super easy to
I mean, if Matt can catch fish on it, it's child proof. I mean, anybody could catch fish with it. Duke may want to invest in some of those. Just saying, bro. Just saying.
Maybe a trade.
Yeah, I'll trade you some stupid tubes for a catch board.
That's right.
I love it, man. Well, it's always a good time talking with you, brother, man. We appreciate you taking the time out this evening to join us and share the good word of Matt Gibson.
Yeah.
Where can people find you? Are you on Instagram?
MySpace.
I almost thought you were serious for a second.
Like, that really shows how old you are.
Yeah. You just
No.
aged yourself for real, bro.
Yeah. No.
I felt dusty on that one.
Yeah.
I figured you'd be on TikTok or something.
No. Facebook. I'm around Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, get a hold of me if you have any questions about anything, whether it be kayak related or tournament related, whatever anybody needs any help with, just let me know.
Right on, man. Huge thanks. Any final thoughts, Mr. Randall?
No. No, it was good talking to you, Matt. Good
Hey, you
time.
too, Jay. Yeah, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Guys.
Yeah, anytime, brother. Anytime. Everybody else, thank you for tuning in this evening and joining us on this fine broadcast. As always, boys and girls, or all you cool cats and kittens, till next time, tight lines and smooth paddling. Peace.